longer with because you just want this to be over, and I will make it longer. I was asking you guys how you were tonight because I just wanted to mention that last night I was kind of feeling under the weather, and I wanted to feel good for the open mic tonight, so I kind of went to bed early. And when you go to bed early, sometimes you just wake up at 2 a.m. and you're just like, what the fuck? I was in bed and I kind of groggily wake up and the soundtrack to Mamma Mia is blaring in my living room, and I was like, this is hell, right? This was one of the signs that they talked about in Revelations. But like I said, my name is Vivian. I am an English major. There are 3 ways that you can tell this. A, I am dressed like your 4th grade English teacher. Taught you how to read The Great Gatsby. B, I do writing in my free time and this. And C, I used letters instead of numbers to make that list. So I like that we get applause for the English majors. This is such the environment we're all just yes, we like letters. I would not get that applause anywhere else, ever. I am actually an English major. The stereotype is that we are all teachers, which I actually have substitute taught a couple of times, so I am a part of that stereotype, unfortunately. But I was talking to this girl in the class. It was recess time, and we were supposed to be handing out snacks or some stupid thing. And I was talking to her, and I was like, "Oh, what's your favorite class?" And she goes, "Definitely 1st grade." And I was like, yeah. Okay, now keep in mind, she's in 3rd grade at this point, so there's not really anything to compare it to. It's not like she's done some hard time in 4th grade with multiplication tables, or she's really made it to the war zone of middle school yet. There's nothing to compare it to. It's really 3rd grade. What did you learn in 3rd grade? Oh my God, 9 times 1? What a tragedy. And I want to know what she thought was so great about 1st grade that really set the limit. Was she the performance of that teacher, teaching us our A's. That's 10 out of 10 performance. I think this is going to be the best grade so far. And you don't want to break her heart too, right? You don't want to be fucking wait till you get to 3rd grade. You can't just tell a little kid that, because they're just they're so honest. And the best part was she had that ready to go. Somebody's asked her this before, and she's like, I got it. I don't know how much I'm going to give to the IRS in taxes next year, let alone what my favorite grade was. And she's only been in 3 of them. And I just there's something beautiful, about these little kids that are just on top of it. But at the same time, they're so sticky and gross. And there's, when women, as we are, in our mid-20s or early 20s, families start asking, when are you gonna, meet a nice guy and have kids, right? And you're like, well, never. To both, probably. But mostly the kids part, the nice guy's not by choice. But anyway, I don't know, it's just this thing that's they make you start thinking about having kids, and so you really start thinking, what would I be like as a parent? And you're like, well, you'd probably show them reruns of Friends, which they wouldn't get. Yes, for Friends. Oh, fuck yeah, let's get into that for a minute. I don't know. I just what would I be like as a parent, Or what if my kid in the future, when she's 40 or whoever they will be, what if they're 5 or 6 and they see these videos on YouTube of me talking about how I don't want kids, and then they're gonna be and I'll be I don't know. And the thing too is you have to think about who you're gonna have the kids with, right? I mean, you don't really have to. I have a cousin who's had 2 kids out of wedlock, and she's crushing it as a single mom. She's great. She's a great role model for her daughter, and it's a great experience. But at the same time, every time I see her, she looks like she's ready to murder half of the Eastern Seaboard. And I just, there's really a 50-50 coin to that. And I don't know if I like the other 50 coin to take the whole quarter, And so I don't know, I was just thinking about that today, and then I I work at retail. I work at a craft store called Joann's. Joann's. Fucking, yeah, fabric and yarn. Let's do this. But people bring in their kids all the time because they don't, have personal lives. But they bring in their kids all the time, and the kids will like run around and like try to get stuff and like put it in their parents' cart or whatever, and the parents just like, it's like a zombie. They just like take the stuff out of the cart and like throw it on the floor, and they're like, I fucking hate these kids. I don't understand how you would like talk to someone and like, okay, I was raised Catholic, right? So like protection was not a whoop whoop. What a sad whoop for the Catholicism. It's okay, it really shouldn't have been one whoop at all. But anyway, like protection's not a thing that they enjoy. I don't even think they really talk about nudity in general. Usually we tend to shower with a pair of corduroys on, so, but like protection's not really a thing. So I was thinking about, like, if I'm like with like a guy and like we're getting really hot and heavy, and then they're like, I forgot protection, do you have any? And I'll be like, the grace of God that we don't have kids, like, that's not a thing that you can do, And like, then if that kid appears, like a magic trick, I'll like blame it on some magician in New York, I don't fucking know. But anyway, like if this kid appears and needs to be like, like Mother's Day's coming around, that's usually the time when kids are like, how did you feel when you had us? You're not going to tell them, like, I asked them for 4 epidurals so that I would get an overdose. Like, that's not what you tell them. What you tell them is, like, you were a blessing, and, like, I really got to change religions, and, stuff like that. And so, there's just these kids I see in department stores, and sometimes they're really great because they have, like, the attitude of a 65-year-old Southern woman. So, like, I saw this one kid. I was working at the store on a late shift. We closed at, like, 9:30. There's one audience member. There's one of you in the crowd. There's one customer, and she looks like she's probably, arguably, a parent or a grandmother. Questionable. But she's, like, walking around, looking at stuff, and the kid just, like, walks away and starts hanging out with the staff. Like some Downton Abbey level. He's like, hello, my mother is here, and I will hang out with you. And I was like, yeah, sure, like this seems like not a good future, but that's fine. And so he'd like wander around, and then he'd just like go away without telling you, like, I'm going to leave now. He would just like walk away. I was like, yeah, fine. And then he would come back with like a toy, and he'd be like, how much is this? And he'd be like, I don't know, let's check it out. So I'll like scan it, and I was like, oh, it's like $12. And he goes, I can get that cash. And I was like, okay, I don't want to know how, but that's fine. And so he like leaves with this toy, and a friend of mine is working the same night. She's running the cash register, and we have like those little ear sets that you can like be spies and talk to each other with. And this kid comes up, and I can hear him from all the way across the store. He's like, I have my mother's wallet, and I would like to purchase this, please. And I was like, this kid has some balls. I am almost 21 years old, and I will not go to a gas station and be like, give me this gas. I'm going to be like, can you please maybe give me this so I can drive home? So he's like, I will buy this. And she was like, well, do you have the $12? And he was like, I got it right here. And he gives her this whole wallet. It's clearly his mom's wallet. And he goes, you can take anything out of there that you wish. And I was like, no, but fine. And so she goes, I'm going to keep this up here until your mom gets back. Why don't we wait to pay for it when your mom gets here? And he goes, oh, that simply won't do. And I was like, who trained this kid? Did he go to finishing school in like 1812 in Europe, and now he just like wears an ascot on the weekends when he's watching Looney Tunes? Like, what is this kid? And so he was like, I will go discuss with her. And I was like, sure. So he you can hear him running through the hallways, and like him and his mom have like a signal for each other. So you hear this like 9-year-old like clomping around, and he goes, holla hoo. And I was like, yeah. And then you hear like a 65-year-old woman on the other side of the store with no regrets go, holla hoo. And I was like, yes, this is great. And then, like, he walks up to her, he's telling her he wants to buy this toy, it's $12, and he's like, I gave them your wallet, but they wouldn't take it. Like her card was declined or something. And she was like, how'd you get my wallet? He was like, I took it out of your purse, but that's not important right now. I was like, all right, Wolf Blitzer at 9 years old was just like telling his mother, like, that's not important right now. What's important? And so he's like trying to persuade her to buy this thing, and she goes, okay, well, I'm almost done here. I'll get this fabric cup, we'll go up there, and then maybe we'll buy it, okay? I'm not promising anything. He's like, a maybe is all I need. Okay. So at this point, like, the other 2 people on staff and I are pretty much like all at the cash register just waiting for this kid. We're like, what is he gonna say next? Because I have a stand-up set in 2 days, and like, and so they both get up there, and she's like, all right, here's my fabric, like, here's the fucking glue or whatever other things we sell there. I've been working there for almost a year, by the way. I don't know what we sell. Anyway, so they get up there, and my friend of mine's like scanning the stuff, and the kid goes, I discussed it with my mother, and she said it was a maybe. And so the lady at the cash register's like, okay, well, you know, I don't know how to like persuade your mom. And he looks at his mom, he looks at the girl at the cash register, and then he looks at me and he goes, perhaps you could discuss with her, and then maybe you would persuade her to give me this toy. And I was like, no, because it's 9:30 and I want to go home. And he was like, fair, and then just walked out. And I was like, yeah, fair, bye, future child. Like, what is this? That's my set. Thank you guys for all coming.